Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful silk bag. If you know this is something you'd be interested in, please stay tuned while we delve in. Body, I worked with a measurement of 19 inches by 7 inches, so I had two of that fabric. For the lining, I used a measurement of 7 inches by 5 inches. I also had two different measurements. Then I had 11 inches by 3 inches for the handle rope. Don't worry, once I get started, you're going to see what I use that for. The next thing I did was to stitch the handles. Then the handle rope that I mentioned earlier, I just folded both, as you can see, into 4 equal halves to make a curve at the tip. Then I stitched the rope, but I ensured I had space for turning. I ended up with 4 ropes, which I turned inside out. After turning, I sealed the opening for all the 4 ropes. I also turned the 2 handles inside out. I had another fabric with a measurement of 12 inches by 1.5 inches, so I use this as the short handle. You can either use an elastic or any thick material. What I did was I passed that material, the short handle, into the long handle. Then I used safety pin to hold down one end of the short handle to the long handle, while I worked my way through the second end of the long handle with the short handle, as you can see in the video. I ended up with this after fixing the short handles into the long handles. I stitched the lining on both sides. Then I also did the same thing for the bag material too. I stitched both sides. So this was what I had after stitching for the bag material and also for the lining. The next thing I did was to measure 1.5 inches from both ends of the lining, which was where I placed the handles. So I did that for the two sides of the lining. Then I placed the handle on the lining, ensuring that the stitched side of my handle was facing the lining. I did that for all sides of the handles. This was what I had after fixing the handles on both sides of the lining. Then I stitched the handles to the lining. I also trimmed off the excess handles. Then I turned it outward. For the main bag, I folded it into two equal halves to locate the midpoint. Then I formed pleats using office pins to hold the pleats. Because I wanted my pleats facing opposite direction, I started the pleats from the right towards the middle. Then on getting to the middle, I started from the left towards the middle. So because I'm right-handed, it was a bit difficult for me to form the pleats from the left. So I had to turn it to use my right hand to form the pleats. Then the next thing I did was to stitch the pleats. This was what I had after stitching the plates. So I had to remove the office pins. Then I located the midpoint at the other end of the bag. I also located the midpoint on the bag lining. Then I pinned the midpoint on the bag main body to the midpoint on the bag lining. I started from the edges by pinning down both edges. Then I also pinned down the midpoint before forming pleats around the lining and also the main body. So this is me here trying to form pleats around the remaining opening after pinning down the two sides and also the middle of the lining. So I used office pins to pin down the pleats. So this was what I had after stitching. I just turned the bag inside out, and the next thing I did was to clip the upper end of the bag. So this part here is optional. You can choose to top stitch or just leave it like this, but for me I top stitched the upper end of the bag, as you'd see in the next slide. Yes, I just top stitched round the upper part of the bag. Here is what I have. So I also closed the opening at the down part of the lining. I first pinned the opening before stitching. You can do it however you prefer, but I just prefer to pin it down before stitching. Then the next thing I did was to fix magnetic snap inside the bag. So I remember that I had not attached the rope to the handles, which was what I did in this part of the video. I really love what I see. This bag looks exquisite. If you love what you see too, do check out my next video on how to make this stunning trendy bag. If you have any question or any part of this video that you're not clear with, please do leave your question in the comment section and I'll try as much as possible to provide a detailed response. So tell me, why do you think you'd rock this bag to?